Okay, this is part of Imam, second part of Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salm and Jabir Ibne Hyyan. And we have our friend here, Mike. Hi. And Kanize Fatima here. Hi. And in this you would find different tones and voices. So it would look more different and more attractive. As Imam Ali alayhi salam said, do not see who is saying, but what he is saying. And I would like to add, do not look down different accents, but listen to what he is saying.
Jama remarked, "It is a pity that many people do not know and understand the purpose, need, and necessity of the canons and doctrine of Islam, and deeper meaning of the verses of the Quran. Otherwise, the religion of Allah would have made great progress."
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salam replied that
it has been with every other religion which came before Islam. Only a limited number of people understood quite well the laws of their religion and the reason why they were made. Therefore they become the leaders of the people, and the rest had to follow them. The religion of Islam is not an exception. Only a handful of people know the Quran and the laws of Islam. They were the leaders of the Muslims. This state of affairs will continue till knowledge becomes universal.
Jabir asked, will the time come when knowledge will become universal?
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salm replied, "Yes, the time will come when human beings will know the importance of education and realize that it is the duty of every individual to acquire knowledge. At that time, sufficient facilities would be made available for that purpose."
Jabir said, then everyone will become a scholar.
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salam replied, even at that time, in spite of the facilities, all people will not become educated, since everyone does not have the same aptitude for learning. However, they would not be like the illiterate people of today. Every person will have some knowledge and power of understanding. The learned people would, therefore, be able to explain to those who wish to know the truth and rationale of the principles of Islam.
Then Jabir Ibne Hyyan asked, "What is the most powerful force and strongest desire in the life of a man?"
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salam replied,
the strongest desire in a man's life is to live and protect his life.
Then Jabir asked, does one's desire to live spring from his knowledge?
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salm replied, "No, even the most illiterate and ignorant people have the will to live. The desire to remain alive springs from life itself. Many people do not know that they have a strong desire to live. Whatever you see in the life of human beings in the world is due to the desire to live." Then the Imam continued, "It is due to our keen desire to live that we try to defend ourselves from our enemies if we can, or run away if we cannot. Strong desire to keep alive has created us the desire to eat and drink. So long as we are healthy and normal, our desire to eat and drink remains strong. It is because of our desire to live that we work and earn our living. We can take care of our personal hygiene, and we build our house for our wives and children. The desire to live never disappears and never departs from us. It is only when one loses the desire to live that he commits suicide."
Jabir asked, is it a fact that genius is just like a lunatic?
Imam Jaffer-e-Sadiq Alaihis Salam replied, the view is attributed to Plato, which is wrong. Where what he said was that if someone was not more or less lunatic, he would not compose a poetry. It was his belief that no one, including the poet himself, got any benefit from poetry. Therefore, to indulge in such a useless pursuit was, in his opinion, tantamount to lunacy. Since a great poet was considered by the common people a genius, many Greek scholars on later periods said that a genius was a lunatic or like a lunatic.
He continued, it is not a correct. A genius is not like a lunatic. He has extraordinary mental capacity, and all his actions are normal and are approved by wise people. A lunatic, on the other hand, does not have a sound and balanced mind, and his behavior is not normal, and most of his actions are not approved by wise people. I think the idea that a genius is a lunatic, or just like a lunatic, originated from Greece, because the people who were geniuses were so much preoccupied and engrossed in higher matters that they totally neglected the things which were directly concerned with their daily lives.
Then the Imam continued, the people who thought that a genius was a lunatic were just like those who were born in a dark dungeon and had always lived there. They had not seen the sun, moon, stars, and the blue sky, and knew nothing about the world, which was outside their dark abode. Their eyes had become used to seeing in the dark only and could not stand the glare of sunlight. But when they thought that they were wise and normal, when the people who were outside told the dwellers of the dungeon that the sky was blue, the stars were bright, the grass was green, the roses were red, and the birds were beautiful, they thought they were mad.
He continued, when Plato said that a poet was like a lunatic, he himself behaved like dweller of dungeon. He thought that whatever a man said or did should have some material benefit for himself or for others. He was a great philosopher, but he failed to realize that poetry has great moral and spiritual values. The beautiful verses of a great poet are highly exhilarating and create, in the readers as well as do the listeners, a great sense of happiness and joy. I do not understand why Plato condemned poets and poetry. Did he live or could he live without appreciating and enjoying beautiful things created by the good taste of talented people?
Does not appreciation of beautiful things created by Allah purify our souls? A poet can describe them in his verse more precisely and effectively than a scientist in his theories. We cannot express many things in scientific or philosophical terms. It is not possible to recite ruds in scientific formula. Similarly, the beauty of flowers cannot be described in the theorems of logic. Part of the verses written by my grandfather, Imam Ali ibn Abu Talib Alaihis Salam, are on philosophical subjects. He has written beautiful verses in praise of knowledge, morality, piety, and self denial.
He continued, science is the demonstration of the power of logic and reasons of human beings, while poetry is a manifestation of their feelings and sentiments. Science is like the iron axe of a carpenter with which he splits wood to make useful things, and poetry is like the fan of soft feathers which produces a refreshing breeze and keep us cool.
Cool, Mike. Thank you so much. Cool.